My siblings said I'd live to regret leaving my job. Now they're eager to join my success. The crushing blow hit me like a freight train. After 25 years of dedicated service at Oakwood Manufacturing, I received the unexpected news during a routine meeting. "Due to budget cuts, we must let you go," my supervisor said, her voice steady yet cold. I felt my heart drop. How could this happen? I had poured my life into this job, sacrificing personal dreams for the sake of stability. As I walked out of the office, I looked around at the familiar walls that had witnessed my daily grind. I felt lost and hollow, the weight of uncertainty pressing down on me. Returning home, I hoped for sympathy from my husband, Tom, and my adult children. Instead, they greeted me with worry. "Mom, what are we gonna do?" my son, Jake, asked. "How will we pay the bills?" My heart sank further. I had hoped for support, not panic. "I'll find another job," I assured them, but I wasn't sure if I believed it myself. Their disappointment clouded the room, making me feel like a failure. I had dedicated my life to this family, and now it felt like I was letting them down. That evening, I mustered the courage to share my long-held dream of starting a homemade crafts business. "I've always wanted to create personalized home decor," I said, my voice trembling with hope. Tom scoffed, shaking his head. "You need to focus on finding a real job, Helen. Crafts won't pay the bills." His dismissal stung, but I didn't let it show. I had always been the caretaker, the reliable one, but now I wanted more. I wanted to pursue something that was truly mine, something I loved. At the next family gathering, I braced myself for criticism. My mother-in-law, Doris, was notorious for her bluntness. "Helen, don't you think it's time to face reality?" she asked, her tone condescending. "You need to get a steady job, not chase some silly dream." My cheeks burned with embarrassment as laughter erupted from the family. I felt small and inadequate. How could they not see my potential? I had been the dutiful wife and mother for so long, but now I felt suffocated by their expectations. The breaking point came after another dismissive dinner conversation. I stormed out of the house, tears streaming down my face. I was tired of feeling underestimated and unappreciated. I had dreams, and I was done letting anyone dictate my worth. I took a deep breath, determined to pursue my passion for crafts, regardless of what my family thought. I picked up my old notebook filled with craft ideas. It was time to take a leap of faith and rediscover myself. My first step was to set up a booth at the local craft fair. I was nervous but excited, feeling a rush of adrenaline as I prepared my handmade items. My first sale was a hand-painted sign, and the joy I felt was indescribable. It was validation that my dreams could be a reality. I spent hours talking to customers, sharing my passion with anyone who would listen. I realized this was what I had been missing, a sense of purpose and fulfillment that my previous job never provided. As weeks passed, my orders began to increase. My children started to hear about my success, and I noticed their attitudes shifting. They were intrigued by my newfound confidence and creativity. However, I also sensed some resentment. They had initially dismissed my dreams. They were now eager to join in on my journey, feeling left out of something special. I invited them to see my workshop, hoping to share my passion and excitement with them. Tom, however, remained dismissive. "It's just a hobby, Helen," he said, rolling his eyes. My heart sank at his lack of support. I overheard him talking to Doris about my foolishness in pursuing crafts. Their words cut deep, but they also fueled my determination. I didn't need their approval. I was building something meaningful for myself. I continued to pour my energy into my business, ignoring the doubt that lingered in the back of my mind. Maya, my eldest daughter, began showing interest in my work. She started helping me with marketing ideas and social media posts. It was the first time I felt a genuine connection with my children over something I was passionate about. Maya's enthusiasm reignited my spirit, reminding me of the joy that comes from pursuing what you love. Despite Tom's skepticism, I felt a sense of pride in what I was creating. Then came a setback. After gaining momentum, my sales suddenly declined. New competitors entered the market, and I felt the pressure mounting. Tom's voice echoed in my head, urging me to abandon my dreams. I was at a crossroads, torn between the desire to give up and the urge to fight back. I refused to let this setback define me. With newfound resilience, I dove into research, determined to improve my marketing strategies and reach a broader audience. Maya stood by me during this tough time, her unwavering support reminding me that I wasn't alone. She encouraged me to keep pushing forward, inspiring me to think outside the box. Together, we brainstormed new ideas, and I revamped my website and social media presence. Slowly but surely, orders began to trickle in again. I felt empowered, knowing I could adapt and overcome obstacles. As my business started to recover, I received a call from a local magazine. They wanted to feature me in an article about local entrepreneurs. I was ecstatic, finally gaining recognition for my hard work. However, I could feel the envy radiating from Tom and Doris when I shared the news. They were no longer dismissive. They were beginning to realize how serious I was about my craft. The magazine article brought a wave of new customers, and my business began to flourish. I worked tirelessly, pouring my heart into every piece I created. However, Tom's attitude shifted. He felt threatened by my success and accused me of prioritizing my business over our family. I was hurt but stood firm, refusing to let his insecurities derail my dreams. I had worked too hard to let anyone undermine my achievements. Doris visited my workshop, wanting to discuss family matters. I sensed her ulterior motives. She was looking for a way to cash in on my success. I kindly declined her request to collaborate, realizing I needed to protect my ambitions from those who wished to undermine me. I felt empowered, knowing I was taking control of my narrative. Despite my success, a sudden decline in orders hit me hard. I faced another crossroads, and Tom pushed me to abandon my dreams once again. I felt torn, questioning if I should listen to him or trust myself. Instead of giving up, I decided to invest time in improving my skills. I took online marketing courses and learned how to reach a wider audience, determined to revive my business. With my newfound knowledge, I implemented new strategies and launched a successful online campaign. Orders began flooding in again, and I felt a surge of pride. I was finally gaining the recognition I deserved. Yet Tom remained skeptical, diminishing my achievements. His dismissive remarks only fueled my drive to prove him wrong. Maya came to my defense during one of our family dinners when Tom openly mocked my business. "Mom is doing amazing things, Dad. You need to recognize her hard work," she said, standing up for me. I felt a wave of gratitude, knowing my children were beginning to see my worth. It reignited my resolve to keep pushing forward, despite the negativity surrounding me. My business continued to grow, and I decided to open a storefront. I wanted to create a space where customers could experience my creations firsthand. I was excited but also nervous about the challenges ahead. As I shared the news with my family, I saw the surprise in their eyes. Tom's expression shifted from skepticism to curiosity. Despite my excitement, I still struggled with whether to let my family back into my life as collaborators. I feared they would revert to their old ways of undermining me. At the opening of my storefront, I stood proudly, surrounded by friends and supporters. The grand opening was a success, and I felt the weight of my journey lift as I celebrated with those who believed in me. As my success became undeniable, Tom and Doris began to change their tune. They reached out for forgiveness, trying to join my journey. I was hesitant, but also intrigued by their newfound interest. I wanted to believe they were genuinely supportive this time, but I couldn't shake the memories of their past dismissals. During a family gathering, Doris tried to take credit for my achievements, claiming she inspired me all along. I firmly spoke up, showcasing my independence and resilience. "I built this business on my own, with hard work and dedication," I said, asserting my place in the family. The atmosphere shifted, and I felt a sense of empowerment wash over me. As time passed, my story gained traction, inspiring others in the community to pursue their passions. I received an offer to speak at local entrepreneurship events, sharing my journey. I was finally being recognized for my hard work. My family watched in awe as I flourished, and I could see the respect in their eyes. At one event, I stood before a crowd, sharing my story of resilience and determination. I spoke about the challenges I faced and the importance of believing in oneself. As I looked out at the audience, I felt a sense of fulfillment that I had never experienced before. I was no longer the sidelined caretaker. I was a force to be reckoned with. As my business continued to thrive, my siblings approached me, eager to join my success. I felt a mix of emotions: pride, skepticism, and a lingering fear of reverting to old dynamics. I decided to give them a chance, but I made it clear that I would not tolerate any undermining of my efforts. We could work together, but they needed to respect my vision. In the end, my story became one of redemption and empowerment. I had transformed my passion into a thriving business, proving to myself and my family that dreams could indeed become reality. As I looked around my bustling store, filled with customers who believed in my vision, I felt a deep sense of pride. I had fought against the odds, and now I was finally living the life I had always dreamed of. This story captures the essence of determination, resilience, and personal growth while remaining engaging and relatable. Each chapter builds upon the last, maintaining suspense and emotional depth throughout the narrative.